Welcome to the Oligo News, your go-to source for the latest global stories. Today, we have a fascinating and thought-provoking story from the St. Petersburg Economic Forum that quickly became the talk of the world. It's an incident that brings the spotlight on the significance of language in international settings and raises questions about national identity and global communication. So, what happened? Let's dive right in. A tense exchange at the St. Petersburg Economic Forum. During the prestigious St. Petersburg Economic Forum in Russia, an unexpected moment of tension unfolded between Russian President Vladimir Putin and a German CEO. The CEO, attending the forum to discuss global economic matters, had been asked to address the audience in English, considering that many of the participants were unfamiliar with German. But as the CEO took to the stage and began his address in English, Putin, who was sitting in the front row, decided to interrupt the proceedings. With a sharp tone, Putin asked the CEO why he didn't speak in German, questioning why he had chosen English instead. Now, this moment might seem like a small interruption, but it quickly gained viral attention around the world. It sparked heated debates on social media, with many people weighing in on the importance of using one's native language in global platforms and forums. Some sided with Putin, agreeing that language is a crucial aspect of national pride and sovereignty. Others, however, felt that Putin's comment was unnecessary and that using a widely understood language like English in international settings made more sense, especially when no translation services were available. The context behind the exchange. To understand the situation better, it's important to look at the context. The CEO was asked to speak in English for a simple reason. The majority of the audience at the forum did not speak German, and there were no translators available to facilitate communication. In such international settings, English often becomes the default language for broader accessibility. However, Putin's remark was centered around the belief that one should prioritize their native tongue, especially when representing their country on the world stage. The CEO, in response to Putin's comment, explained that he was only following the advice given to him in order to ensure that his message was clear and understood by the maximum number of people. He wasn't dismissing the importance of the German language. Instead, he was being pragmatic about the realities of international communication. The role of language in international events. This incident really highlights a significant issue in global discussions: the choice of language. Language plays an essential role in how we communicate ideas, express identities, and even shape political discourse. In international events, the language spoken is often not just a medium of communication but a representation of a nation's pride and cultural heritage. Putin's comments were rooted in a larger context of national pride and identity. By emphasizing the use of one's native language, he was also connecting language to broader themes like sovereignty, independence, and cultural pride. This brings up the deeper issue of how countries view themselves in a globalized world. On the other hand, critics of Putin's comment argue that in forums like these, the focus should be on the exchange of ideas, and in a setting where a diverse group of people from various backgrounds is present, English becomes a practical and efficient choice to ensure understanding. After all, global economic discussions and decisions require clarity, and not everyone may speak the same language. Mixed reactions on social media. The incident didn't stop at the forum. Once the video of Putin's interruption began circulating online, reactions poured in from all corners of the globe. Some praised Putin for his emphasis on national language pride, viewing it as a statement of defiance against Western dominance. They argued that using one's native language, especially in high-profile global events, is a powerful way of asserting a country's identity and resisting cultural homogenization. However, others felt that Putin's comment was overly nationalistic and perhaps even divisive. They pointed out that in today's interconnected world, English has become the lingua franca of international business, science, and diplomacy. For many, the idea of having to speak a specific language, especially when there are no interpreters available, seems outdated and impractical. Language and globalization. a balancing act. This debate brings us to a broader question about globalization. How do we balance the use of native languages with the need for efficient, cross-cultural communication? The world is more interconnected than ever before, with people from all corners of the globe coming together to solve shared challenges. Yet, as global interactions increase, so does the complexity of language choices. English, for example, has become the dominant language in international business and diplomacy. But the rise of regional powers and the growing assertion of cultural identities also means that other languages, like Mandarin, Spanish, and Arabic, are gaining more attention in global settings. This raises the question of whether English should remain the dominant language in international forums or if there should be greater room for diversity in linguistic representation. A reflection on identity and global communication. The moment at the St. Petersburg Economic Forum is more than just a fleeting exchange between a world leader and a CEO. It reflects deeper issues related to language, identity, and global power dynamics. As we move forward, this debate will likely continue to evolve, with countries grappling with how best to preserve the cultural uniqueness while navigating the complexities of an interconnected world. What happened at the forum is a reminder of how language shapes not just communication, but the very essence of our national identities and the way we engage with the world. Whether we choose to speak in our native language, a common international language, or a mix of both, the decision holds a mirror up to our values, priorities, and the world we want to create. That's all for today's story here on the Oligo News. We hope you found it as interesting and thought-provoking as we did. Stay tuned for more updates on global events and discussions that shape our world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.